If you've been craving some food with Puerto Rican flair, you are in luck. WEPA recently opened in St. Pete, and I'm joined by Jean, the owner, and Chef Dan. And I'm gonna start with Chef Dan. What are we making?
Well, we're gonna make a shrimp mofongo today.
Mofongo and shrimp. Shrimp I'm familiar with, mofongo not so much. John, can you elaborate on what mofongo is?
Mofongo is made with the green plantain, and then we take the green plantain, we deep fry it to a golden state, then we put it in the mortar. You might want to help us with it. Okay. You put the plantain in the mortar. You put some pork rinds. You put some garlic. You put some chicken broth, and then you also put some bacon in there.
This is basically a lot of my favorite things, just in one big
And then you
thing.
just mash it together.
Okay, this is also the biggest mortar and pestle I think I've ever used in my life. So people may be thinking, okay, this just looks like one really big unripe banana. What's the difference between plantains and bananas?
Well, the plantain is always meant to be cooked, and it's a little bit larger and it has a thicker skin than the banana. When the plantain is green, you either have to boil it or fry it, just like we did here. When it starts getting yellow and spotty, then you could grill it, or you could deep fry it, and then it's the sweet plantains, or the amarillos that we call.
So you got a couple options with your plantains. Yeah. The other thing we were talking about when we were looking at some of the ingredients, because you got some shrimp going right now, is the sofrito, which I think maybe people have heard, but they don't necessarily know what it is.
Well, it's just a pureed mixture of culantro, cilantro. There's some garlic, onion, and a little bit of Puerto Rican chili called ají dulce. So it looks like a little bit of a Scotch bonnet. It's green, but it's not spicy at all.
And so, Jean, he was saying that's the thing that a lot of Puerto Rican foods and dishes start off with. That's like the base that kind of integrates all that flavor into your food.
We use sofrito basically in many recipes. We use it for the pernil. We use it for the shrimp. We use it even sometimes to cook some of the rice. We add some of that sofrito and sazon with it to give it flavor.
WEPA just opened, and if people are maybe wanting to experience Puerto Rican food, but maybe they're not sure what to start with, what's a good dish for a beginner?
Well, the mofongo is what many people order when they come to our restaurant. We also have the traditional rice and beans, and we do red kidney beans. We also have the gandules with rice, which is the pigeon peas. And those are traditional recipes in Puerto Rico.
For maybe like Caribbean folks, that sounds like kind of like a dirty rice.
It is.
Kind of very similar, yeah?
Very similar.
Yeah, a lot of if you're into Caribbean food, a lot of that kind of intermixes. And if you like, for example, if you've been to a Jamaican spot, you've probably had plantains. It's just going to be a different way if you go to the Puerto Rican spot.
And you have to understand that a lot of these dishes became with the exploration of the New World and recipes traveling from Asia to the New World, and then they disperse across the Caribbean.
Jean, you're from San Juan.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about why it was important for you to make sure that St. Pete, because this is, you said, the first Puerto Rican restaurant in St. Pete. Why is it so important to get your culture out across the Bay?
Well, I think people are noticing Puerto Rico a lot more these days, and unfortunately for some of the wrong reasons, because of the hurricanes and the disasters that have occurred there. So what we're trying to do is try to put a good image of what Puerto Rico is like. A lot of people know Puerto Rican food. A lot of people have traveled to Puerto Rico. So we want to bring that to St. Petersburg. I've been in St. Petersburg for 18 years now. And I've been participating of the restaurant scene, and now decided it was time to open my own.
Look, that sounds like a darn good plan, and it worked out in your favor. So we're still cooking that shrimp. How long does that need to go until that's all done?
It cooks about 4 or 5 minutes. I let the wine and the garlic reduce down to kind of create, a little white wine, and we reduce it down, and then I'll finish it with a little butter to kind of thicken it just slightly and give it a little bit of nice.
Gotcha. And that's the finished product.
That's the finished
if people want some mofongo for their own, and maybe this looks a little too complicated to make, how can they find you, John?
We're located at 2149 2nd Avenue South, and we're on the 22nd Street corridor of St. Petersburg in the Warehouse Arts District.
So go visit Jean, go visit Chef Dan, and go get you some mofongo. We'll be right back after the break.